how to build flourishing relationships and why it is so important for all of us. With more and more technology now, people are isolating themselves more, and in-person connections are so much more powerful than online connections. This doesn't mean you shouldn't build both of them, as both are beneficial. Online connections can turn into in-person connections, but you must always continue to learn and practice how to build in-person connections, because they have so much more power than online connections. And everything is a muscle. Everything is just practice makes perfect. So, don't believe the whole thing of you're an introvert, you're, you're worried, you're scared, you're that type of person. Don't be complacent. Anybody can do it. It just takes a little practice. It's like anything. When you haven't done it in a while, if you haven't talked to someone in a while in person, and you go to talk to them, you'll stutter a bit. Because you haven't done it. You know what I mean? When you've done it 100 times in the past week, it's a lot more easier than that first time in the week. So, and I realized this because, I day traded and stock traded for many years, and eventually I got into a rut of isolating myself because I was working alone always, and then when things were down for me, I would not want to talk to anybody. When I'd even go out in public, I would try to, isolate myself and, stay in my own zone. And this is such a problem, huge problem that will only cause more depression, anxiety, worry, fear, because all you're doing now is you're staying in your own thoughts, and you're just swarming your negative emotions, your negative thoughts, and you're just reviewing your same old thoughts 24/7 instead of hearing other opinions and ideas of other people. So you don't want this to happen, because it will destroy your life, and you can just keep on spiraling into a worse and worse path. It will make you so unhappy. When you talk to people in person, they're going to talk about their days and their things that are going on, which will give you interest and take your thoughts off of your problems in life. Secondly, you're going to get more ideas from them for yourself. You're going to have more opportunities because they're going to give you ideas and possibly opportunities that they have available. So many things can flourish from this. Where as an in-person, as online connections, it's much tougher. Like there's a perfect example of this was this guy I follow who has like millions of followers online, and he messaged someone on Twitter or whatever saying like, oh, do you want to meet up or whatever and do an interview, because he does podcasts. And the guy didn't message, or he just messaged back, nothing really. And then he saw him in person one day, and he talked to him for 30 seconds and said, you mind doing a podcast, yada yada. And the guy's like, absolutely, 100%, because the energy, the emotions are heightened, everything is so much more powerful. So this is going to be such an importance to you. Not to mention, communicating in life and being able to do that is such a positive benefit, because obviously we need to be able to function in the real world of in person. So if you keep on staying in your own isolated zone and just talking to people online, your skill for talking in person is depreciating. So when it does happen, you're going to be like a little introverted, scared cat or whatever. So it's going to get you stuck. And then you're gonna like tons of people do this. You're gonna just assume that like you're not a good communicator. You don't like to be in groups of people. You're an introvert. This is all a lie. You're just creating this false prophecy. So remember, socializing is just a skill, and you being worried or scared is just your emotions and your thoughts dictating the reasons why you shouldn't talk to them and why you aren't good, which is not the case. So ways that you can help to build these in-person connections with strangers. Go up to strangers and talk to them. Get to know people. and get to know how other people communicate. When you talk to people in person also, you pick up their habits, different habits, or you can see like what's working and what's not working. Looking people in the eye, changing your tone, giving them compliments, whatever it may be. So one tip is people like to feel important. Everybody likes their ego to be boosted, because when you're giving importance to them, they feel like you're listening to them. They feel like you value what they have to say, so then they're going to want to tell you more things. So you don't want to criticize them, condemn them, or complain. This is just creating bad emotions, bad thoughts. They're going to think of negative things. You're going to start a negative conversation, and then you may cause problems with each other. So, and John Dewey is one of America's most profound philosophers, said the deepest urge in human nature is the desire to feel important. And I think Abraham Lincoln spoke on this a lot too, and a lot of very successful people talk about this. Another one is give sincere and honest appreciation. People realize when you're just saying things just to say it, and you're just being sincere. You can say a nice thing with words, but if people know that like he's just saying that for saying, I can tell it's not coming from his heart. It's not true what he's saying. He's just saying off the top of his head. And people take that as a sign of disrespect. So you need to like be more detailed and more honest. Like actually think of something that you appreciate of that person. It could just be like the color of their shirt or whatever. Be sincere when you actually think about it in your own self, that like it's kind of interesting or cool. They will feel that, and then they're going to appreciate you more and respect you more and want to continue on the relationship or conversation. And again, talk about what other people want to talk about is our third tip here. People, again, they want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about what's going on, because that's what everyone's thinking about. They're thinking about themselves 24/7. So when you ask questions to people and open them up, they're gonna love you, and they're gonna want to tell you so much more. They're gonna turn up into a book. And a fourth tip to remember is don't assume people do not want to be approached, or assume whatever you may think, you know what I mean? Because that's just what that's just your way of thinking and assuming, and it's not the case for people. Even when people are like in a bad mood, or they look like they're not someone who wants to communicate, you give them a little like love and a little like appreciation, they'll open up, and you may change that person to start to want to communicate, and like you're going to change them and open them up, and they're going to appreciate it for you, because again, this all creates great loving emotions and appreciation for life, and it's very positive for everyone that this has happened. As long as the conversation is great and positive, emotions just pass on from each other. So if you're doing like positive things and really appreciating the person, that's going to be passed along, and then it's going to start to open up those feelings for them, and like you'll be surprised of how people can change in a simple conversation, from being like depressed to ecstatic. So those are a few tips, and try them out. What do you guys think about communicating in person and how important it is? Let me know. And there's a lot more tips I can go into. I'll go into some more in another video. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.